if you look at from the design point of view, our goal was to design a climate responsive, sustainable building, school, or green environment. And these were the objectives, that we should have the thermal comfort, we should have solar control, daylighting, ventilation, acoustics, waterproofing, dust proofing, cost, aesthetic, and durability. And this performance, this objective can be translated in the performance terms, that is internal air temperature, surface temperature, shading efficiency. So these are quantification of these objectives. And then the design decisions the students have to make, that how do you orient the building, what is the form of the building, surface area, wall system, what type of insulation material you use. So these were all the various design decisions to make a building system. But the question was that how do we relate these decisions with their performance. So this was a very iterative approach for the students. So we had a lot of crit with the students, experts, and we did a lot of case studies. So on one side, in Germany, the project was being conducted by my collaborator, Dr. Uta Putgisar, in her studios with her group of students, and in my university, I was coordinating with my other colleagues. So we were interacting and we were exchanging what should be the design elements. So these were the 10 design areas which we decided on which we should work on or concentrate. So the students responded in a very different way. So if we look at the Indian approach, they had seen traditionally the Panchabhuta, that is 5 elements, and they are essential for the sustainability or relating with the natural environment. So this is fire, that is the energy, the Akash is the daylighting and all, Vayu is related with the natural ventilation, earth is again for the mass storage and all, and water management. And also these are the 5 essential elements which integrate with each other for developing a sustainable built environment. The European approach, as the students were from Germany, so they have very well established technological solutions for addressing the sustainable development. So they had addressed with the various kind of calculations, cross ventilation, how do we use the renewable energy technologies and all. So these were some of the solutions. So this was Indian students' approach, looking at the Gurukul point of view, where we used to have the students living with their teacher and experiencing the life under the tutelage of their teacher. And she developed her proposal with this idea, and see how this concept of Gurukul can be reinterpreted in a modern way, using all the modern materials and all, but how do we make the students part of the environment. Then some of the students, they have also looked at the various aspects, that how the building should be oriented, and how do we put the vegetation so that you have shading in the summers, and you should have daylighting and passive solar heating in the winter. So they had chosen what kind of tree should be planted, because this was a climate where extreme summer hot and extreme winter happens. And then that's why they studied this sun path movement and all. So how do we shade on the east and west side with the vegetation, so that we can have enough radiation in the winter and we have enough shading in the summers. So they had also looked at other strategies for addressing, that is rainwater harvesting, which is essential, because these are in the regions where we face water problem, though it's in Yamuna belt area, but we do have water problem in the summer. So how we can conserve the water and save it. So they had proposed some rainwater harvesting system also in the school. So this was again some of the design innovation, that how we can use the waste material and develop the semi-paved pathways in the school inside, shaded pathways and landscape courtyard, which are changing the microclimate and all. And you can see that the design developed in a very cohesive manner, that how each blocks are integrated. So students from all different classes, they have good interaction and they learn from each other and they work collaboratively. This was again using some of the passive strategies. How do we orient our building with respect to the sun? How do we use the shading and all, roof garden, which Mr. Anand had shown yesterday, how this can be assuring the food security. So the students can see that how the fruits grow, and because this is part of their education, how the fruits or vegetable can grow and how that can be used for their own consumption. and all. So this was all the study, that is groundwater storage system and how we can use earth burning, because this is in summers you have very hot temperature goes up to 45 degree in this area. So shading by burying the building in the earth saves overheating inside. So they had done it for the western side of the wall. Then these were some of them have gone for geothermal energy use, renewable energy technology, and coupled with the shading system and all. And then how the daylighting and shading system works for inside, how the cavity wall constructions save in heat gain or heat loss. So these were similar proposal, that how the material, the local material and the industrial waste material can be used for construction, so that we are having minimum impact on the environment. Then this was something which was from the European student, that is German student, what should be the design strategies. So she had developed a facade which works in the winter and summer. So she had used some kind of vegetation which is green in the summers, and it provides the shading, and then in the winter it dries out and it provides the passive solar heating. So this was her proposal, and you can see that the kind of fenestration she has made in the wall, so it provides daylighting, and it's aesthetically also it is pleasing and blending with the environment. And this was again the way the buildings are clustered together. You can see the planning approaches of both the students. Here he has aligned like this and combined them with a common area which are to be used by all the students, like prayer hall and gymnasium, etc. Then this was again using the technology, that is geothermal technology, how it can be used, because in India this can be very potentially used for heating and cooling in the summer and winter. So they had, because once they understood that this has a two seasonal requirement, that is cooling in the summer and all, so they made a proposal, the German students made a proposal which works winter and summer. So this was something which was interesting, and I believe in their place the summers are not so intense. So by doing and asking us questions, they could understand that we should have a strategy which can work both the seasons and with diagonally opposite requirement. So this was again using the green shading screen, green walls and all. So this was the proposal by these German students. And then they had very innovatively designed the shading system, that is why not till the wall or project the wall itself so that it has a shading effect over the glass. So these were some of the innovative design approaches they have given. Now the future direction we are planning, and we have been working on this with this success of this project and the survey results which Rainer presented before me. This was again a collaborative approach between German and Indian university. So now we are working on further that how we can retrofit the existing building, that is the government building and industry. So now with our state government, we have taken up some works of retrofitting the existing public building, and then we will be also involved in the new buildings in compliance with the ECBC, GRIHA or LEED rating system. We are advising on the government. And then this is something which is important, that is post-occupancy evaluation and building management system. That is whatever existing building we have, if we do a post-occupancy evaluation, that is users' response, if we analyze that properly, and then we can make the future designs according to those assessment. So what we have done, we have started in our university the students' accommodation, because they are the major users in our campus. We have more than 3,500 students living on the campus. So we started a post-occupancy evaluation. We are giving the questionnaire, so it's a part of a PhD, and we are giving questionnaire to the students, and we are asking for their responses in terms of thermal comfort and their sensitization towards energy and all. And then this is something which is we may do it in future, because it is cost intensive, that is building management system. As Professor Sitaram also mentioned, that if I see that how much energy I am using, then I can become aware. Right now what is happening, everything is behind the screen, the meters only the electrician or the from the Department of Electricity reads, and the person who pays, they only are aware. So if we have dashboard technology or building management system where the energy consumption, water consumptions are being displayed, the user can see transparently that this is how much I am energy using, this is how I am using water, then he gets, oh, sometimes the figures are alarming, that we go to shower, we go for shower, that's what the example yesterday was given, that when we go for shower and you find after half an hour you come, you find you used 100 liters of water. So that makes you aware, and this is very important to make it very transparent and visible to the users. Then energy auditing, this is also happening in campuses. Our campus has also done, various IITs they have done. IIT Kanpur has done energy auditing, IIT Powai has done it, IIT Chennai has done it, and then there are some other institutions which are also going for energy auditing, that is seeing that how the campuses are using energy under various consumption. Then we are looking at the energy efficient retrofit option. So some of the technologies, that is water heating system in the campus, are being used with the newer technology. We are using now photovoltaic cell or solar powered water heaters and all. And some of the buildings may be retrofitted, that is fixtures and equipments are being replaced, that we are having better lighting systems and all. And there are a lot of innovations which are being proposed. So this is something, if the campus or these places where the education happens for the students, they become sustainable, then they send a message across to the society. That's what was the perception in our presentation and this project, that we have to sensitize where learning is happening. So why not make this learning environment responsive to the energy and sustainability issue? So this is something which we are working on and we are developing. Besides that, we are also working on making the courses with integration of sustainability. Right now what happens, that whatever learning we do in the architecture degree or BTech degree, Bachelor of Engineering and all, it's just the learning the technical aspects of the subject and all. Sustainability, either it comes as an elective or a specialization subject and all, but we do not know exactly how this gets integrated in every aspect of life. Sustainability is a way of living. It is not just learning some technology or new ways of doing things, it is a way of life. So right now we are revamping our Bachelor of Architecture course, and we are trying to make all the subjects integrated with sustainability and all. And there are some organization, that is non-government organization also, Center for Science and Energy, CISC, they have also asked us for their inputs. And then we started the course of Master of Architecture, Sustainable Architecture. So this is going to be the specialization where further advancement can be done. And then as we look at the future of the built environment, not only construction, it is the real estate management which is important. So this was a UGC innovative program which has been approved and which has been appreciated, and we have received the grant for starting this program for 5 years. It will be completely funded by the University Grant Commission, the Master of Construction and Real Estate Management, which is first of its kind in India. There is no institution offering such course in India. So our institution will be the first, and in this we have made sure that sustainability issues are integrated in all the subjects, and we are from the inception of a project till its end, we are making sure that the students learn how the sustainability should be integrated. Then we have started also PhD in architecture, and various built environment issues have been, we have almost going about 8 PhDs in the department, and we are working on all these energy auditing and making the sustainability issues in rural planning, urban planning and all. So various PhDs are going on and looking at the office productivity, how the environment affects the people's productivity. Besides this, we have gone for international collaboration. So our university has now signed memorandum of understanding with the German university, with the North Dakota State University in USA, Korean University and University of Tampere in Finland, and more are in the offing. So we may be soon collaborating with the UK Oxford University also. So this kind of joint collaborative project helps us in exchanging the know-how and the way to address these issues globally. So I think this is a good opportunity. This workshop was a good opportunity, and I'm very thankful to DAFG for inviting me and our team for these presentations. So I think we are looking forward for more collaboration and to address our planet Earth. Thank you very much for your kind attention.